Today is January the 11th, 2009. It's approximately 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in beautiful South Carolina. Anyway, today I want to talk to you about several things. I want to talk about the media, and I want to talk about the Adoption Safe Families Act of 1997 that was also just redone and refunded or re-signed, however, whatever the technical term for that is. Anyway, Bush just redid it at the end of 2008, so it is now good until 2012, unless our new president repeals it, which I highly doubt he will. Anyway, the Adoption Safe Families Act. I learned from watching another video here on YouTube that the U.S. spends $12 billion a year on child protection. Now, when I heard that figure of $12 billion a year, that seemed astronomical to me. Because if we're spending that much money a year, why are our kids not safe? Why is this agency roguely stealing them? Well, of course, it's for that $12 billion a year. So let's see if I can explain this, what I've found out so far of how this works. I'm still looking into it, and I still have a ton to learn about how it all works. But so far, what I have found out is, according to this Adoption Safe Families Act that has now been, revised and funded for our current times, with the economy and everything, are you aware that CPS, DSS, they get $8,000 as a payment or grant or whatever you want to call it per child for every child that they adopt out of foster care? So after they get all this money, however long the child is in foster care depends on the state. Some states it's a year, some states 18 months, some states 2 years, going on 2.5 years. And this whole time, the state is getting money from the federal government because they have your child in foster care. So they're profiting for that whole year to 2.5 years that they have your child held hostage. Then after they get all that money for holding your child hostage, they get a bonus for finding a family to adopt them. So they get this $8,000 bonus for finding the family to adopt your child. Well, if they can put your child on some type of mental health medication while they have them, or her, they can get another $2,000 on top of that $8,000. So now your child is worth a $10,000 bonus for them to adopt it out after they've gotten all the money all along. Then if they can prove that you, the parent, had a mental health problem or drug problem, they get more money there. I believe it was $2,000 was that figure. So that makes your child worth a $12,000 bonus at the end. And it just goes on and on and on in what the bonuses that they get. But I got to looking up some information because I got to wondering how much money the federal government pays out to the states a year in these direct programs. So I went on the web to I went to Google and I Googled, annual budget, Department of Health and Human Services. So that took me to a web page that was by the, Department of Health and Human Services. It was their Office of the Budget. That's where I got this information that I'm about to give you. Okay. Our federal government pays $6.9 billion a year directly to the states for adoption and foster care. And it breaks up something like this. Payments directly made to states for foster care and adoption. Now, in fiscal year 2009, for the foster care program, our federal government has budgeted $4,463,000,000. That's a lot of money. That is a spending increase from 2008 to 2009 in 1 year. That is a spending increase of $118 million. That figure is alarming to me in this economy, that we're going to spend $118 million. We're increasing our spending, an additional $118 million from one year to the next to steal kids. Okay. And then, now after they've stolen your child and they've terminated your rights, they've lied about you, drug you through the court, and spent all that money to do that, then the federal government in 2009, for fiscal year 2009, they have specifically budgeted for this one program of adoption assistance payments. These are just those payments that I was telling you about of the $8,000 that they're paying directly to the state at the end of the foster care. They have budgeted for fiscal year 2009 $2,286,000,000. That's an increase of $130 million over 2008 that they're going to spend just on these incentive payments so they can adopt your child out, which I thought was alarming. So we have overall, in the short 1 year period of fiscal year 2008 to fiscal year 2009, we have a $248 million increase in the federal government spending of what they're giving the states to steal and adopt your kids. So what I am going to do tomorrow, I'm going to contact all of my representatives for South Carolina, plus I'm calling the representatives for Texas, since that is where my involvement with CPS currently is in Texas, where my grandchildren are in foster care. I'm going to be calling all of those representatives, and I'm going to ask them, what is your personal position on the Adoption Safe Families Act? And then I'm going to ask them, are you aware of the fact that from fiscal year 2008 to fiscal year 2009, the federal government has allocated $248 billion in increased spending to steal children and then adopt them out? I mean, I intend to, in those words, ask every politician and every person that I can think of, because it is alarming to me that that is $248 million that could be spent on something else. I mean, we have homeless people, we have starving kids that, CPS never sees. We have elderly people who need health care and medications in this country. We have so many more things that we could be focusing on rather than spending an additional $248 million to steal and murder families and just tear lives apart. So I want everybody else to do the same thing as me. Contact your representatives, state level, city, local level, federal level, everywhere. Let them hear from us. If all of these politicians keep hearing from everybody, eventually they're gonna change and do the right thing, because they can't shut everybody up. I mean, that's just what makes sense to me. I mean, you can't continue to spend money, government. I mean, come on, Obama, everybody, you can't continue to spend money like this grossly and negligently and think that this country, which is based on revolution, and, we're the country, the reason the terrorists hate us is because we're Americans. We stand up as individuals and say, no, you're not going to trample on me. That's why they hate us. So why should we lay down and die because CPS, or lay down and say, oh yes, trample all over me, do whatever you want because you're the government? It's time for another tea party, only we need to figure out, what's going to make the effect here. If it's not tea, I mean, it's the same thing that this country was founded on. We rebelled from England for them doing similar stuff to us. Now we need to let our government know, it's time, or we're going to have another tea party.